All right, so we're ready to dig in. Literally, we're talking about dogs eating dirt, and we've got some research here to help us figure out just what's going on. I mean, everyone wants to know why their dog is munching on dirt, right?
Yeah. This is one of those things that it seems simple on the surface, but it's actually way more complicated.
Right. So we're doing a deep dive using all the sources you sent over. I'm thinking maybe we could start with the most basic question, like, WHY, do dogs even do this? What's the deal?
Well, like you said, it's not just one answer. There are actually a lot of different possibilities, and the research actually points to a whole bunch of different things. So,
Okay, so where do we even start with this?
well, I think one of the common things you'll see is this idea of a nutritional deficiency, like the dog's body is missing something,
All right.
and they're trying to get it from the soil. It's like us taking vitamins.
Oh, so my dog's out there like foraging for iron or something.
Exactly. And there's a study that you sent over that actually found that dogs who are iron deficient specifically were much more likely to eat dirt. And they even found that the dogs were kind of picky about what kind of dirt they ate, like the preferred soils with more clay, because those tend to have more of the minerals that they might be missing.
Wow. So there's like a method to the madness. It's
Yeah.
not just like any old dirt will do.
Right.
Okay, so that's interesting. But what if like my dog eats really good food? You know, like I'm buying the fancy stuff. Could it still be something else?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nutritional deficiencies are kind of like a good first place to start, but some of the research also looks at the idea that this could actually be a sign of a health issue, like maybe something's going on internally that we're not seeing.
Okay. Like what?
Well, one study actually found a link between dirt eating and problems with the gut, like, stomach and intestinal issues. And some experts even think that dogs might be trying to kind of self-medicate by eating dirt, almost like, if you have a stomach ache, you might take Pepto-Bismol. Well, maybe for dogs, it's dirt.
So how would I know if it's just like, my dog is being picky or if it's something I should really be worried about?
Yeah, I think the key is really paying attention. If you see your dog doing this all the time, or if you start noticing other things are off, like maybe they're not eating as much, they don't have as much energy, or something's different with, their bathroom habits, then it's probably a good idea to talk to your vet.
Yeah, like better safe than sorry. I get it. Okay. Now, one of the other things that I thought was interesting in these sources was this idea of like psychological reasons. Like, could my dog be eating dirt because, I don't know, they're bored or maybe they're stressed out?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this is something that comes up a lot in the research. Just like us, dogs can get anxious, right? They can get bored and they
Hmm.
need ways to deal with that. And sometimes dirt eating can be a way for them to cope. Like one of the sources I was looking at, it talked about how dogs who are left alone a lot, they might start eating dirt just because they're trying to find something to do. It's like their version of entertainment, I guess.
So it's like they're literally trying to dig themselves out of boredom.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
What can we do about that, for people who are listening who are like, oh no, my dog's eating dirt because I work all day.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news is that there are things you can do. And a lot of the experts recommend focusing on giving your dog more mental and physical stimulation. So things like puzzle toys, interactive games, even just taking them for a nice long walk can help.
Okay, so more playtime, less dirt time. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I got to ask this because, dogs, they dig,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just kind of what they do.
Yeah.
So isn't some of this just like instinctual?
Yeah, and that's a really good point. One of the sources we have actually goes into that, the idea of instinct.
Hmm.
And it talks about how certain breeds, especially those that were bred for hunting or digging, like terriers, they might just have this stronger urge to dig and eat things from the
Yeah.
ground.
It's like they're, I don't know, channeling their inner wolf or something.
Right.
But okay, what about those dogs who, like, they're not bred for digging, but they still seem to enjoy, a little mouthful of dirt now and then?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. Dogs experience the world through their senses, right? And
Yeah.
and smell and taste are huge for them, so maybe they just like the taste of dirt. Or maybe they're smelling something in there that we don't even notice.
Or they're just curious. Like, what's in here?
Ex-
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, no pun intended. But if you're listening to this right now and you're looking at your dog who is probably sniffing at some dirt as we speak, what's the main thing you should take away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that there's no one answer.
Right.
Dirt eating can happen for all sorts of reasons. It could be their diet, it could be boredom, it could be that they're just curious little creatures. It's really about understanding your own dog and what their specific situation is.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it makes me think, we talked about the diet thing. If your dog is eating dirt because they're not getting what they need from their food, does that mean, like, should we all be rethinking what we're feeding our dogs?
It's an interesting question to think about for sure. And, maybe it means that we need to be more careful about the ingredients in our dog food, or even talk to a vet who specializes in nutrition to make sure that we're giving our dogs everything they need.
Food for thought,
Yes.
literally. It's funny how something as simple as eating dirt can actually tell us so much about our dogs.
I know.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today, but hopefully this deep dive has given you some things to chew on. And next time you see your dog going after that flower bed, you might have a better understanding of what's going on in that furry little head of theirs. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.